Before we begin, tell me, would you open the locked door?
The soul that refused to die. The morning sun finally managed to pull David out of yet another nightmare. Daylight meant safety. Darkness lost its grip under the light, and the voices that hunted him at night faded away, at least for a while. He quickly made his way down the stairs and headed to the kitchen, where Jan was already sitting with his morning coffee, absorbed in the newspaper.
Good morning, David.
Jan greeted, without looking up.
Matilda made us a nice breakfast. Come, sit down.
The boy took a seat across from him, but didn't reach for the food.
No appetite?
The older man asked, noticing the hesitation.
I didn't sleep well again. Every night it's the same. It feels like something is dragging me down.
Nightmares tend to cling to people for a while. It will pass.
It's not just that. I feel like something inside me is fading. My memories are getting blurry. Sometimes I wake up and can't even remember the faces from the orphanage.
Jan watched him in silence for a few seconds.
The more you feed fear, the stronger it becomes. Try thinking about something else. Eat at least a little.
While I was there, every day felt heavier than the one before. Like you don't really exist. You're just waiting for someone to notice you or forget you completely.
You'll never go back to that place. I don't understand how anyone can abandon their own child. Children are the greatest gift you can have.
David hesitated for a moment.
Then why don't you have children?
Silence filled the room. Jan's eyebrows tightened sharply. A flicker of irritation showed in his dark brown eyes, but it disappeared almost immediately, replaced by a calm smile.
Life doesn't always unfold the way we expect.
I didn't mean to offend you. I just still don't understand why you chose me. I'll be 18 in a few months. Most people want to adopt younger children.
And you think that makes you less valuable?
I don't know.
You're in the spring of your life. Time is on your side. As the years pass, life starts to weigh you down and slowly breaks your spirit. At your age, nothing can stop you. The world is yours. You can have anything. I would give anything to be young again.
David stayed silent.
Over time, you begin to understand how cruel life really is. It takes everything little by little: strength, beauty, hope. And once you're old enough, you start looking at the young differently.
What do you mean?
That the world belongs to people like you. The young and beautiful always get more attention, more forgiveness, more opportunities. Some admire them for it, others hate them. You were simply never taught how to use your potential.
He lifted his coffee cup.
You'd be surprised how far people go to hold on to youth.
David's gaze drifted, almost involuntarily, to the man's hands. Despite his age, Jan barely had any wrinkles.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Matilda's voice cut in.
Jan, you're on the phone. It sounds urgent.
Thank you, Matilda. I'll be right there.
Jan left the kitchen, motioning subtly for her to stay with the boy.
David, why don't we go to the library? Last time we found some rather interesting reads.
The boy barely managed to suppress a sigh, but followed her upstairs anyway. Reading had never been his favorite thing, yet time in this house moved strangely slowly, and the library was one of the few places that softened his darker thoughts. The owner's collection was impressive, covering every subject imaginable. Matilda eagerly introduced him to the most famous classics, sharing stories in hopes of sparking his interest.
You absolutely must read this one, and this one will break your heart.
He walked through the narrow corridors, catching the soft scent of paper and ink, as if the books had just been printed. His fingers trailed lazily along the neatly arranged spines when he noticed something unusual. The door at the end of the hallway, normally locked with a padlock, was slightly ajar. Curiosity sparked immediately.
Matilda,
he said calmly.
The stories are probably great, but if you tell me everything in advance, there's no point in reading them.
She let out a quiet laugh.
You're right. I almost ruined the experience.
And you probably have enough work as it is.
Don't worry about me. I enjoy your company.
For a moment, something heavy slipped into her voice.
I've always wanted a son, but fate had other plans.
A tired smile returned.
I'll let you pick something interesting.
He took a book and pretended to read, while carefully listening for the creak of the stairs. Once the sound faded, the book was left on a small chair beside him, and the boy quietly moved toward the mysterious door. The room beyond was swallowed in dim light. Dust, dampness, and something metallic he couldn't quite identify hung in the air. The shelves were filled with strange, obscure volumes and scattered pages. Every cover felt like a doorway into another dimension, where evil danced with shadow and magic carried the kiss of death. Some books were bound in cracked leather, their titles erased by time. One, however, stood out, slightly pulled forward as if someone had recently placed it there. David reached out and carefully pulled it free. The pages were filled with strange diagrams, unfamiliar symbols, and texts about rituals tied to life, death, and time. His heart beat faster.
David!
Jan's voice echoed from downstairs. He froze. Footsteps followed, slow, heavy, approaching. Quickly, the book snapped shut and returned to its place. The first novel he could grab replaced it, and he sat back down by the small chair near the window. The door swung open sharply. Jan's eyes immediately landed on the boy, calmly reading a Russian classic.
I need to go into town. I'll be gone for a few hours. If you need anything, Matilda is out at a meeting.
All right, I'll just finish my book.
Jan paused. His gaze shifted toward the slightly open door at the end of the corridor. A flash of irritation crossed his face.
Why is this door unlocked?
Jan moved quickly and pulled it wide open. His eyes scanned the shelves, as if he knew the exact position of every single book.
I've strictly forbidden anyone from entering this room.
Maybe Matilda came in to clean.
No, I'm the only one with a key.
David stayed calm.
Have you been in here?
Of course not.
Answer me, honestly.
Why would I go in there?
Jan stepped closer.
What worries me isn't whether someone went in, it's whether I'm being lied to.
There's nothing in that room I would need.
The older man continued scanning the library. His gaze moved slowly across the shelves, searching for something, but clearly not finding it. A heavy sigh filled the corridor.
If I discover anything is missing from there, there will be serious consequences. So I'm asking you again, have you been in that room?
No!
If I find out you're lying, I'll send you back to the orphanage without a second thought.
The words were cold, not angry, which made them worse. The man locked the door with the padlock and left the library, slamming it shut behind him. David remained still for several seconds. His heartbeat was loud in his ears. Did Jan already know, or was this just a way to break him? The boy slipped his hand under his clothes and touched the hidden book. Curiosity outweighed fear. In his room, the stolen volume lay open. The pages were filled with texts about ancient rituals, the human body, and ways in which time could be outwitted. Diagrams of strange symbols covered the margins, along with descriptions of procedures and fragments, speaking of life beyond its natural end. Jan was not just a collector, he was obsessed. The deeper David read, the stronger the horror became, and so did the curiosity. Then realization hit him. His adoptive father would search for the book until it was found. It wouldn't be returned to the secret library before he finished reading it. It had to be hidden. The basement was cold and silent. He moved along the shelves of jars, searching for a safe place for the stolen book. Then his fingers caught something unusual. A soft click followed. One of the shelves slid aside. Behind it was a hidden door. He froze, then stepped forward. The air inside was freezing. At the far end of the secret room stood an old metal refrigerator, its motor humming quietly in the dark. He approached and stopped dead. This was not something the mind could easily accept. The cold air pierced through him, as if death itself had taken physical form. Inside lay a body. His body, eyes closed, skin pale, tinted with the blue of deep cold. The same face, the same clothes. No! A dull thud echoed on the floor behind him. He stepped back, unable to look away. Thoughts collided violently inside his mind. How long had he been dead? Why was Yan keeping the body? What was he now? The cold seemed to pass through him. Even though something about his body no longer felt the same, then everything started to make sense. The lack of appetite, the insomnia, the emptiness. He was dead, and Matilda. How was Matilda still seeing him? David slowly closed the refrigerator door. Whatever the truth was, Yan was connected to it. The ghost shut the fridge. He left the hidden room quickly and made his way toward the ominous library. The book slipped under the door. Then hesitantly, a hand touched the wall beside him. There was no resistance, only a strange, cold sensation, as if his fingers were sinking into water. His form dissolved like smoke and passed through. Fear faded, replaced by something else. Freedom, the ability to observe his adoptive father from the shadows, unseen, untouchable. Through a small window, he saw Yan approaching the house in heavy rain. The moment he stepped inside, Matilda rushed to him.
Come in quickly, you're soaking wet. Let me take your jacket and dry it, and go change before you catch a cold.
Thank you, Matilda. You're very kind.
Yan glanced toward the staircase, meeting David's empty gaze. Without a word, he went upstairs. Moments later, he burst into the room, throwing open drawers, the wardrobe, sweeping objects off the desk. His eyes moved wildly through the chaos, but he didn't stop searching. David watched silently. Only when Yan realized the book wasn't there did he stop. His breathing turned heavy.
No,
He whispered. For the first time, he looked like someone who had lost control. He rushed upstairs again, hands shaking as he struggled with the lock. He stormed into the secret library and scanned every shelf. Nothing missing, everything in place. Later, he returned to the room, this time, too calm.
I hope you weren't frightened by my searching.
He said. The boy met him with silence, continuing to tidy the room.
Let me help. I didn't mean to be harsh. I just thought a book was missing.
You behave strangely for someone who simply guards an old collection.
Yan gave a nervous laugh.
These books are priceless, very old. The world has forgotten them.
What's inside them?
Things most people wouldn't understand.
And me?
The gaze lingered too long.
You're different. One day, when I'm gone, everything here will be yours. The house, the library, everything.
Why are you talking like that? You still have many mornings ahead of you. No need for wills.
No one is meant to know when death will come. Life is shorter than a moment. Today you're here, tomorrow you're a memory. People pray, they hope. Then you dissolve into the night like dust in eternity.
The words sank deep, not philosophy. Something closer to experience.
What happened in town?
Nothing important. A meeting.
Jan replied, too quickly.
Finish early.
No one likes wasting time. Rest.
He left, Jan's room locked with a soft click. Outside, the rain cast shifting shadows across the desk, making the space feel even more sinister. A bag was placed on the surface. Stillness followed. It opened. The air changed, heavy, metallic. From inside came a dark box, thick drops of blood sliding down its sides. They were wiped away calmly, as if nothing more than rainwater. The wrapping came off. What lay beneath was disturbing. Skin too fresh, still wet, spread across the table. It became a canvas. Black ink followed, slow, methodical. Words were spoken that didn't belong to any known language. Something older. For a split second, the eyes shifted yellow. David stood there. Invisible, unseen, yet every nerve tense, as if exposed, watching. The figure at the desk didn't notice him, or wasn't meant to. Then movement stopped. Silence. Slowly the head turned. Gaze lifted directly toward the place where he stood. Held there. A knock broke it.
Sorry to interrupt.
Matilda called from the door. Everything snapped back. The book was closed instantly.
The milk is gone. I'll go to town to get some. David also asked for lamb for dinner.
Wait until the rain eases.
Don't worry about me. I'm not made of sugar.
Came the light reply. They ate dinner in silence around a beautifully set table. Matilda had, as always, gone out of her way. The kitchen smelled of freshly baked bread and spiced lamb, rich enough to promise comfort.
You always manage to surprise me, Matilda.
Jan said, clearly enjoying his meal as he reached for more.
Each dish seems better than the last.
Oh, don't flatter me like that.
She blushed.
I wanted the boy to actually eat properly this time. He barely touches his food.
Don't worry about me. I'm used to small meals. The orphanage food was awful.
Don't think about that place anymore. You're here now. We take care of you.
By the way, it's strange how the whole house smells like lamb ever since Jan returned from town.
The spoon in Jan's hand trembled slightly. Matilda nodded thoughtfully.
I noticed it too. I assumed someone brought meat home.
A brief silence followed.
It must be the sheepskin.
Jan said with a laugh, though his voice faltered.
At night, while you sleep, I secretly make shoes.
Matilda laughed sincerely, waving it off.
Your dark humor will be the death of me one day?
The ghost lowered his gaze to his plate, pushing food around with a fork. The voices dissolved into background noise. No hunger, no fatigue, only emptiness. Whatever had once been him was now just a shell. The spark in his eyes had long gone out. His presence in the house felt wrong, like a mistake reality hadn't corrected yet. He waited patiently for Jan to fall asleep before entering his bedroom. The room was quiet, lit only by pale moonlight. David searched through drawers and cabinets carefully, leaving no trace. Then he found them. Documents. Everything was left to him. The house, the money, the library. Everything. What was he supposed to do with all that wealth if he was dead? Among Jan's possessions were also several of the most valuable books. Curiosity slowly began to overpower fear. Almost every night, he took them and spent hours reading rituals, spells, and strange texts about life and death. One morning, Matilda was out. David lay still in bed. Jan sat with a newspaper and coffee, unusually absorbed in an article. The cup rose to his lips. It slipped, porcelain shattered across the floor. A sharp exhale, then cleaning up the spill. Upstairs followed a quick change of clothes. On returning, something felt wrong. The newspaper was gone. In its place lay one of the ritual books. No need for questions. The answer was obvious.
David!
The shout broke out before control could return. Stairs were taken two at a time, thoughts colliding on the way up. How much had been read? What had been understood? The boy's room was empty, bed unmade, no sign of him, heartbeat rising. Then, the door to the secret library stood, wide open.
I know you're in there, David!
Breathless now, inside, devastation. Books torn apart, pages scattered. Shelves, once arranged with obsessive precision, reduced to ruin. Stillness followed, then collapse. Knees hit the floor, tears replaced discipline. Fragments were touched carefully, as if trying to restore what could no longer exist. A sudden rise. Not all volumes were there. Some were still hidden upstairs. Downstairs again, breath uneven. The door opened and stopped. The sheepskin hung from the ceiling. Blood dripped onto white sheets below. A hand covered the mouth. A scream never made it out. A sound from the kitchen. Head turned sharply. David sat at the table, calm, a glass of warm milk in hand. The newspaper lay exactly where it had been. No trace of anything else.
Good morning.
Came the polite voice. Something inside Jan snapped. He grabbed David by the collar and pulled him up violently.
Why?
The scream tore out of him, eyes burning.
You don't even understand what you've done! You've condemned yourself to agonizing ruin!
The grip only tightened.
You think I am nothing without my books? That I can do nothing without them? Every hour of your meaningless existence will be soaked in pain and suffering. Eternity will not save you from my curse. Your soul will find no peace until I decide otherwise.
Let go!
The boy shoved hard. The force came suddenly. Jan hit the wall. Slow rise. Something in the face shifted. No longer fully human. The gaze felt alien, wrong, detached. Words followed. Low, unknown, fast, rhythmic. The air thickened. Pain struck David like fire from within. He collapsed, trembling. The words kept cutting deeper. No stopping.
David!
Matilda froze, startled, as she stepped into the room.
What's happening?
The words stopped abruptly, and the boy was released, finally able to breathe.
Jan has gone mad!
The ghost cried between breaths.
That ungrateful brat destroyed my collection, stole my key, and broke into the library.
I have no idea what he's talking about, Matilda!
David looked at her, desperately.
Please go check. Tell him what you see, because he'll never believe me.
The housekeeper knelt beside him and gently took his hands.
Are you all right?
A sharp glance followed toward Jan.
I'm not leaving you alone with him anymore.
The magician reached for her arm, but she pulled away harshly.
Take me and show me what happened.
The two walked upstairs in complete silence. The hidden library door stood locked with its padlock. Impossible. It had been left open. With trembling fingers, the lock was undone and the door thrown open. Then he froze. The books stood exactly where they had always been, ordered, untouched. No torn pages, no destruction. It looked as though some unseen force had restored every page and every cover down to the smallest detail. Could all of this be an illusion, or had reality itself begun slipping apart?
Everything looks exactly as it always has.
Frustration and anger were clear in Matilda's voice.
I don't understand this obsession with your books. Do you honestly believe either of us cares about these dusty old writings?
No!
Jan shouted.
They were torn apart. They were all over the floor.
A random book was snatched from the shelf. Pages turned frantically. Nothing. Not a single tear. Not a trace of damage.
I don't want to hear any more of this madness. Do you actually believe what you're saying?
Jan stood motionless. Defeat settled in. There was no escape this time. Eyes lowered.
I'm sorry, Matilda. I must have been mistaken. Maybe I had a nightmare that felt too real. It won't happen again.
The day passed in awkward silence. Everyone remained hidden away in separate rooms, with no desire to come out. Matilda spent the afternoon in the kitchen, cooking as though trying to hide among familiar sounds and smells. For the first time, dinner felt less like a meal and more like strangers sitting together beneath hidden glances and unspoken emotions. Everyone was simply waiting for it to end. The dead boy lay motionless in bed, staring at the ceiling. Dreams crashed against reality, like waves breaking against rocks. Eyes slowly filled with that quiet sadness that never weakens with time, only settles deep inside and begins living there. The door creaked softly. David flinched and sat up.
My child, pack your things. Quickly, we're leaving.
Matilda rushed toward him, shaking his shoulder.
Why?
Have you forgotten what happened today? How could I ever forgive myself if that monster hurt you again? There's no place for us here. I'm coming with you. We'll run far away from him, quickly.
I can't.
Confusion crossed her face.
What are you talking about?
I'm trapped here.
The worried woman suddenly froze. Fear and confusion filled her eyes.
Come with me.
David led her into the hidden room. Then she saw it, the body fragile and motionless beneath the cold embrace of moonlight. Still, pale, her eyes widened. For a moment, breathing stopped. The horror that struck was stronger than anything she had ever felt. Fear tightened around her throat like a rope.
No.
The tremor in her voice grew stronger.
No, no.
A step backward.
What are you? What is happening in this cursed house?
Quiet.
David whispered.
You'll wake, Jan. I was just as shocked as you when I realized I was only an apparition.
A deep breath followed.
I started watching him. The library is filled with books about dark magic and rituals. At night, he locks himself in his room, reading and speaking words in a language I don't understand. Sometimes he stands on the roof beneath the moonlight. That night, when the house smelled of meat, it wasn't lamb. He used the skin of a stillborn lamb.
A pause followed, as though strength was needed to continue.
I read his journal. He isn't who he pretends to be. Jan is an old sorcerer who moves into someone else's body whenever youth begins slipping away.
David's eyes locked onto hers.
Mine!
The color drained from Matilda's face.
I turn 18 in 3 days. That's why I was adopted. That's why there's a will. None of it was for me.
Desperation showed in his eyes.
It was all for himself. There's hidden money in the house. Take it and run far away. I can't come with you. I'm tied to this place.
Matilda kept staring at the body while thoughts raced through her mind. Part of her was convinced this had to be madness, some illusion created by exhaustion. Yet beneath all of that, a small quiet voice urged her to listen.
But your birthday is in 3 days.
David froze. 3 days. Only 3. Fear filled his eyes.
I can't leave you here.
A hand reached out and touched the ghost. Cold flesh. The sensation made her shiver. Despite everything, the figure before her was still the same boy she had cared for. For the first time in his life, someone was choosing him. Eyes closed. When they opened again, something had changed. Not fear, hope.
I have a plan.
David whispered, a new spark burning in his eyes.
But I'll need your help.
David leaned closer and whispered his plan into Matilda's ear. Her face turned pale. What do you think he told her? To be continued.